The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went away quickly from the tomb, fearful yet overjoyed, and ran to announce the news to his disciples. And behold, Jesus met them on their way and greeted them. They approached, embraced his feet, and did him homage. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me." While they were going, some of the guard went into the city and told the chief priests all that had happened. The chief priests assembled with the elders and took counsel. Then they gave a large sum of money to the soldiers, telling them, "You are to say, his disciples came by night and stole him while we were asleep. And if this gets to the ears of the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." The soldiers took the money and did as they were instructed. And this story has circulated among the Jews to the present day. The Gospel of the Lord. One of the things that enriches our understanding of especially early Christianity is the fact that we have 4 different Gospels, and oftentimes they give us a different perspective on the same story. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went away quickly from the tomb, and we have to presume that was after Peter and John went into the tomb and discovered that the body of Jesus was not there. And along the way, Jesus met them and greeted them. Now that means that the women were the first ones to find out that the fact of Jesus rising from the dead was a fact. And it's a beautiful thing at a time in society where women were given a secondary role in society. And you even notice it in the writings of the New Testament, where oftentimes Peter and Paul and some of the other writers, they addressed their letters to the brothers. Sometimes Paul was good at including women, but not always. But Jesus didn't give women a secondary role. The fact that they were the first to actually encounter him in his risen body was a wonderful way in which Jesus recognized their dignity and equality. And it's something that's been slow to be grasped in what has essentially for 2,000 years been a male-dominated church. There have been some great women, some who even advised popes over the centuries. We have the people who founded Catholic schools and universities and other institutions over the centuries. But essentially, in the decision-making process in the church, women were given, for the most part, a very secondary role. And that's one of the good things. History often changes things for the better, and it's one of the good things about our modern-day church. I think it began with John Paul II, but Pope Francis especially tried to bring women into the decision-making process in the church by appointing them to various councils and other advisory groups in the Vatican, as it should be. I remember one of my professors, my favorite professor at Catholic University, when women were first admitted to study canon law around 1982-83, he was not in favor of it. But he changed over the years, and he became a great advocate for the role of women in the church. And this is the way he put it one day in class to us. He said, you know, women bring a feminine perspective to decision making. And his opinion was there would have been a lot less wars over the centuries if women were in charge of individual countries rather than men. And we can even see that in what's happening in the Middle East right now. One side against another, and claiming they'll do whatever it takes. And that often means more division, more bloodshed. It would be interesting to see what kind of a perspective a woman in those positions would make. And so we should pray as a Catholic Church community that the role of women in the church will continue to grow. And I'm not talking about women becoming priests, but decision-making, because you ladies bring a perspective to life that enriches what a man brings to the table. And so it's for the good of our church, and I think Jesus sowed the seeds for that in appearing first to the women after his resurrection.